And what is up, everybody? I am Joe DeHoyos. I am the host of Beyond The Woodline. Um, just real quick before we get started, I'd like to tell you guys a little bit about myself and what I do. I am a Bigfoot researcher. I'm here in Texas. I am part of the JRG, which is the Jebning Research Group. Um, if you guys are interested in looking for Bigfoot and helping us research, reach out to me. We'll talk. We'll get you settled in and find something for you to do. We don't expect everyone to be able to go out or even want to go out. Some people just don't like to get out into the woods, and that's fine. You can do your research from your phone, from your laptop. You can help us find witnesses, find locations, uh, and even find the history of locations. That really helps us out a lot too. And if you're interested, we have teams in Washington, or Oregon, West Virginia, Maryland, Ohio, Michigan, Florida, Tennessee, New York State, Minnesota, and of course here in Texas. So we've got people scattered out quite a bit, and even in states where we don't necessarily have teams, we do have people that we know and could help you guys out if you're interested in going out and you want to, be a part of this. It's really cool. I really like it a lot. Um, you don't always get action, but at least sometimes you're just out camping and you're sitting behind a campfire. And to me, there's nothing better than that, and being with some good friends and having some good food. That's all that really matters sometimes. So if you're interested, hit me up beyond.woodline@gmail.com. And with all that being said, I know you guys don't tune in to hear me run off at the mouth. I have Brady and Lexi Goble. How you guys doing?
Doing well. How are you?
It's been a while since I had you on. I was looking at our messages. It's been 2 years.
Yeah, it's been 2 years, man. It really has. The first time she wasn't even on with me, so
yeah, it seemed like a year ago. And
I know.
Yeah, I don't know where the time goes, but it's really good having you guys on. And just right off the bat, man, I just want to compliment you guys and tell you how much fun it is watching you guys. You guys post a lot of stuff. You guys always look like you're having fun. You always look like you're enjoying yourself. And I think you guys are everything that's right with the paranormal field. So it's an
I
honor.
really appreciate that, man.
I mean, it's really true. It's kind of bothersome how sometimes this field kind of got a rocky boat sometimes. That's all I would really want to say about it. But you guys are, like I said, you guys are everything that's right with the field. So it's just great.
Well, that means a lot, honestly. It really feels good to hear that.
Yeah. Well, I'm big fans of you guys in general, not just what you guys do in the paranormal field. Just you guys as individuals, I'm fans of. So it's a pleasure watching you guys on Facebook. It really is. You guys put yourselves up.
Thanks a lot.
But yeah, man, that's enough kissing up to you guys. uh, yeah. So what have you guys have been up to, man? Like I said, it's been 2 years. What you guys have really grown in this field, man.
So we started this back in April of 2021, and it was kind of just the idea was to be a podcast, and we ended up just thinking, buy some cameras and go investigate haunted locations that people don't know a lot about, and we ended up going to Big Winnie, and it went really good. And then we ended up going to the Boyd House, and then the reception got even better. And then we did our recent release in May at the Hampton, Iowa, Franklin County Historic Jail. And then from there, Spirit Realm offered for us to come to their network exclusively to film quite a few episodes for them. So a lot has happened in the past few years. And yeah, it's nice for somebody to take a chance on us for what Spirit Realm is. I'll go to that fast too, is a free 24/7 streaming service. And that was the one thing that really meant a lot to us, because it isn't all about the money as much as it is the history to us. And we wanted to get our message to everybody any way possible. So the free platform really helped with the Spirit Realm for us to contribute to their network. So that's why we went that route. So
well, cool, man.
Yeah.
So about the episodes that you guys have done already. What can you tell us about those?
We went and filmed at Edinburgh Manor, and that kind of didn't fit like our go to historic places and all this that people don't know about, but it was a bucket list location for us, because before we even started to investigate, Edinburgh Manor was like one of the main locations we wanted to go to before even like filming crews went there. And we got the opportunity, and that was just a wild night. We had some awesome interactions from the other side, and we then went off to Hastings, Minnesota, and we were working on the LeDuc Historic Estate to film there since we started chasing paranormal, wasn't it? I mean, we had we had a acquaintance in the paranormal field kind of mention the place to us, and we dived in and did some research, and it took pulling some strings. It took some time, but we were the first filming crew to go in there and actually film under the roof of the LeDuc Historic Estate. And it's a Civil War Victorian era home where General William LeDuc stayed. He even had a president come through and dine there. And yeah, I mean, it was a really awesome experience. So that was what we just did 2 weekends ago. About 2 weekends ago, we went there. So Edinburgh, LeDuc Historic Estate, and then we have about 3 more filmings coming up in the fall. So it's constant, man. It's been.
What is Edinburgh Manor? What exactly is that place?
It was okay. So it was originally, it was supposed to be built as a county courthouse, and then they moved the county seat 10 miles down. So then they turned it into a poor farm, and people lived on that poor farm for quite a while. Many died there, and they kind of just scattered. It was rumored that they scattered bodies in unmarked graves on the property, and this is prior to Edinburgh even getting built. And then Edinburgh got built in, I think, 1911. It got built, and it was fully operational for about 100 years, where it housed the clinically insane. And what was it? It was a retirement home as well, right? Yeah, I mean, and multiple. They kind of treated them unfairly, people claimed, because they were short-staffed, so they'd use restraints, medical restraints under the building and everything, and people died there. I mean, it's crazy. Dark stories are there. So it's by far the biggest location we ever went to. I mean, and we covered the place entirely by ourselves.
Right.
So yeah, so former poorhouse all the way up to a poor farm, all the way up into a former insane asylum, pretty much.
Oh wow.
So, yes, I mean it was a very, very cool feeling there. It really was. It was an awesome time.
Civil War stuff, when it comes to hauntings, it always intrigues me, and you can just kind of imagine all the trauma that was there, all the pain and heartache that, people went through. So here in Houston, where we have the Houston Zoo, to give you an idea, the size and the popularity, it's number 2 in the nation behind San Diego Zoo. So the Houston Zoo here, it's a pretty big deal. Yeah. And then we got Herman Park, which is a huge park downtown, all that was all Civil War, not necessarily battlegrounds, but they held prisoners of war there. There were the hospitals that were there. Of course, they housed all the soldiers, and so all that land that the zoo's built on, the Hermit Park's built on, the hospitals that are still there. And I mean, they're huge hospitals now, state of the art facilities. All that, there are people buried underneath those grounds, because we're I think 1 of 4 states in the whole union that by law we don't have to dig up anybody to build a world. Yeah. Yeah, so the Hermit Park's a big area for all the activity. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah. I know you mentioned Edinburgh, and what was the second one you mentioned? The Duke.
The Duke Historic Estate in Hastings, Minnesota.
Yeah. And what was the third one?
The third one, these are coming up in the fall, so we're working on all of these. So we can't say where we're going in the future.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
We do have 3 awesome locations coming up. One's a revisit. We've been there before. And yeah, one is a location that not many people have gotten the opportunity to go and investigate. And it's the biggest location. And I mean, for us, it's going into a place that, not many are allowed to go into, and we're getting an opportunity. And it's going to be awesome to unveil what it is to everybody too.
Oh yeah. And I love when I hear people are going someplace that no one really knows about, or very few people have gone to.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you get a place that's everyone goes there every weekend, it's you can kind of get bored of that. Then you can kind of get the go ahead.
No, I was going to say I agree with you. When people are touching the places constantly too, like Edinburgh Manor, people experiment differently, everything, all their methods of experimentation are totally different. We do it totally different ways than the next group that's there the day after us, and you never know what's going on when there's groups there constantly, so I like going to locations that are barely even touched. And yeah, so you can kind of get the validity instead of, spirits that are potentially brought in by other opening portals per se, So, I mean, That's my kind of.
Yeah, no, and I totally agree with you. I think everyone carries their energy wherever they go, so they can
Yeah,
leave it behind, and they're not putting what they're bringing and what they're taking, and and I think it can kind of get watered down a little bit.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. And going to Edinburgh, I mean, that's mainly going to be like a pure investigation episode because, I mean, people know the history of Edinburgh Manor. What I told you is pretty much the basis of it. And it's really going to be cool to see us going and do what we do with a point of view from our cameras and no one else in the 12,000 square foot building. And we investigated top to bottom. So, I mean, it was a really scary experience, I guess you could say.
So when you guys go out, is it just you two guys and
Entirely.
guys?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah, no, like what you're going to get with us, man, we're a docu-series. I mean, that's in the sense where you're seeing it from what we are doing. I'm not going out going to give you 4K, 8K content. We can't afford that because it's me and her entirely doing it until Spirit Realm stepped in and they wanted to invest in us as well, and it's kind of like we're getting no financial gain besides the idea of someone wanting us to go film for them, and yeah, I mean, it's going to open doors, and I don't know, man, I'm so excited for what's ahead. Honestly,
Yeah. So like, what makes you want to do this? What drives you guys to continue to want to go?
Our biggest drive has always been our love for history. Like we went to Charleston for our honeymoon. I've said that on every podcast we've been to, but I will until it's done because what was our main thing was we could go anywhere for our honeymoon. We had the opportunity, it was Vegas, whatever, and we picked Charleston because we love the history of Charleston and the Civil War history and Revolution. I mean, everything about history draws us in. And then we always were fans of the paranormal, So it's kind of chase history while going after the paranormal at the same time. And I mean, we've had some pretty good luck with it so far, man. I mean, it's been an awesome ride for the past 2 years for sure.
So what can you talk about what you've experienced in Edinburgh, for example?
Go ahead. No, you tell him. You tell him. You have the biggest. What's the scariest experience you had at Edinburgh Manor?
Honestly, I didn't think it was that scary. He was more scared than I was. But I saw. Okay, yeah. I mean, I saw someone sitting in a chair. He never got to see anything. He was hoping to go in and see something, and I don't think we got it because it was literally I was turning and I just saw it with my own eyes. I don't know. It wasn't really scary, honestly.
No, I mean that was.
What you mean.
Well, what was my most scary experience at Edinburgh was probably being down in the basement just because of the infamous tales of the Joker. You're kind of watching over your back when you're down there, and it's a massive basement, isn't it?
I guess you'll see where your mind goes in.
Yeah,
it actually is.
Yeah.
I don't think it was that.
She's brave.
Brave one. Yeah. So when you saw the man, what was he? He was just sitting in a chair,
Just
or
at the end of the hall. It was just, I don't know. I was more of a. You could just see a little figure. It was just like sitting more like down like that. I don't know. It's weird. It was pretty crazy.
Yeah, and her face was like.
It's like, I'm pretty sure I just saw some sitting there. He's like, what?
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, didn't have a camera.
We literally just quit filming.
We were just setting up.
We were just filming on another end of the building. We moved all of our cameras down besides like our IRs to set up for the next part of it all, and happened right when we were moving cameras down. She's like, I just saw someone at the end of the hall. So that's not like giving anything away in the episode because like we didn't get it on camera. It was her own personal experience.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Oh man, that would have been great to capture, or even just capture your reaction. That would have been great too.
Oh, we captured something that is by far the best video footage we've ever caught by ourselves. Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. No, he asked about Edinburgh. He asked about the scariest parts of Edinburgh. Yeah, no. We caught an incredible part that'll come out when our episode releases for LeDuc, but it was awesome evidence. I mean, really cool video. It was so good. She caught it on her camera screen that she was filming off of. So, I mean, it was cool to really bring it up and see it in full. Yeah, it's going to be a fun one.
I saw with my own eyes and was like, I got to go back and check the camera. And we actually caught it this time.
what kind of equipment are you guys actually using? I mean, can you talk about, I don't want to.
We have so we have a Canon cameras, we have DVCs for, like the handheld camcorders for IR night vision.
Okay.
We mount anything with infrared night vision on it, for us, because we're trying to document the paranormal experience. And so we'll set up our 4K cam. It's not even 4K. Sorry, getting your face like that. So on certain ends of the buildings, we'll have infrared cameras set up on tripods that we're filming off of. And at night, we'll use our infrared handheld DVC camcorders. That's what we use for like our night filming. We have
SB7 spirit box.
And then if you go to like our investigation stuff, I mean, we're pretty plain Jane when it comes to investigating. I mean, more senses than anything. And we love our spirit box. I mean, you'll see us holding that a ton because, I mean, people get annoyed by white noise, but we have gotten incredible stuff come through. I mean, going with family histories of places that we went to, it's been that valid. We always have our Zoom H1N recorder with us for EVPs and audio. We'll use that to film. We use that even to like roll for our interviews and stuff. We'll use that for our EVP recorder as well. Yeah, I mean, best at the budget that we can afford,
Right.
Pretty simple. I mean, and we're making sure at least bringing 1080p to 4K, we're trying our hardest to bring content, but I mean, the best quality we can, but it's only the two of us. I mean, it's entirely, there's no one else behind it.
So like, what's the difference between like night vision and IR?
So I don't know, because like when they say night vision, they usually just say it's infrared. I mean, so like when you turn on your, Oh, I thought you were going to say something. I do the techie stuff. I'm kind of the techie nerd. That's why she's going to be quiet about it all. I go up in the middle of investigating, man, and I'll like hit buttons for it's like, how do you turn the thing on? But no denying. Yeah, no. So like when you have your normal video camera, they will have, you won't see it at all in the dark. So when we hit the infrared on, it'll illuminate its light source to let us see what we can't see with our own eyes. So we kind of use that as our own eyes when we're in pitch black buildings. And we'll even get our own IR attachments to go with the IR light because the IR light on the camcorder is not strong enough to really illuminate the whole buildings that we go to. You'll need to get like separate infrared attachments. You can get them from Go Stop, Amazon, anywhere really. But they can help illuminate and see more of the room watching. If you're just using like a camcorder with IR, you're not going to get the whole illuminate of the room. It's not going to illuminate. And you're going to need, like, if you're ever going to investigate and you haven't bought one, you'd have to get one with like an IR attachment to it. And then it only works if you have IR on your camera. You can't buy one separate if it doesn't have IR on it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of, that's okay.
That's the whole spectrum of light thing then, right?
Yeah, that's the whole spectrum of it. Because like if you can't go out like with an old school Panasonic camcorder that doesn't have infrared on it and use an IR attachment. You have to have IR on your camcorders as well. It has to have
that capability.
Yes, it has to have that capability, or else it. Yeah, no, and it's techie stuff. Yeah, and like the IR that you get on your base, like Amazon, or even if you go off like Sony or something, and you'll turn on the IR, it usually isn't enough to illuminate a room, so you can capture the anomalies and stuff, all that kind of stuff. And you can capture it sometimes, but the IR will make it a lot clearer. Where full spectrum, if you've ever heard of full spectrum, that'll kind of give you like a purplish tint to your video. That's kind of, you can use them as well if you have IR.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, they you can use either or, but yeah, that's kind of giving you a deep dive on like the IR equipment that we use. So we always use IR cameras with an IR attachment when we're filming.
Yeah.
So it
actually helps me out a lot because I have an IR night vision camera. And that's what I use when I go out to do my Bigfoot stuff. So I should probably give me some bigger lights or some bigger IR lights, right?
Oh yeah, there's even little lights you can use, and I mean they'll light up your camera so you can see literally everything in the woods. Okay. Literally, they will save your life, and I mean you can buy some as cheap as $30, and some of them go up to 70 or so. But I mean it's give or take on what you're doing,
Okay.
So if you got like an IR attachment light, it'll help you a ton in the woods.
Yeah, because like in the daytime, of course I don't use it, and my field of vision is much wider. But at nighttime when I use it, that field of vision is very narrow. So I guess if I got me something that projected more IR lighting, I could probably expand my field of vision almost like the daytime, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, that's a good. Yeah, you taught me something. Thank you.
Hey, I didn't even know I was doing it. You're welcome.
Yeah, I didn't even know I was going to learn this until I started talking to you. So that's good. Um, yeah. So you talked about getting some evidence, and then I don't want you to talk about anything that you can't. But what about like your previous investigations? What's some of your best evidence?
The one of my, well, you can think of. Do you have your personal favorite?
No, we at the Boyd house, and we got his name, and
That's what I was gonna say.
yeah, and the accident and all that, because the little boy that choked to death obviously was an accident. So it was really cool to get those.
The Boyd house was built by I don't know if it was built or not. I don't remember. We've worked on different stuff, so I have to do the deep dive on research for this place. But it was built by Fred. The first residents there. Let's go this route. It was by Fred and Minnie Eckhart and their three kids they had. Violet, there was David, and then the other child. Two of the infants died in the home. So David choked to death. And we actually came in contact with him because we asked who was in the room with us, and it said David. And we said right after, "How do you die? And how did you pass away?" And he said, "Accident." I mean, it was possibly, I don't know how much closer, like people can say ghosts are fake and whatnot, but if you are literally getting the name David under the roof of, the Eckhart's home where he passed away from an accident of choking to death around yeah, I mean, seriously, that's incredible. Yeah, and that came through an SB7. So that's one reason. And then going back to Big Winnie, the first time we ever went, we were like novice investigators. I mean, we didn't have any idea what we were doing. We went in there with Arnold and Matthew, and Arnold held the spirit box, and he said, started talking through names, and it said Arnold. And then we got another voice, Arnold. And he was the owner of the store, the fifth generational owner of the store that was built. And I think it was built in 1932 by the founder of Bena, Minnesota. It's funny. Sorry, I'm going to different ones, but I'm going to tell you all the fun little.
That's great.
Yeah, and no, we got Arnold coming. We got Arnold's name. I swear, over a dozen times.
Yes, we also don't know which Arnold you're talking to. There's like.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I mean,
Arnold's dad, the current owner's dad's name, they called him Butch. And we got that, like he called down the stairway where he would sit all the time, Butch.
Yeah, we got Butch when we were down in the basement. There, Butch. Down the stairs, and we showed it to Matthew, like, who is this? And he told us all about it.
Oh, wow.
And then at the end of that episode, right after we investigated, there was somebody that camps there. Her name was Joe Bowden. Is her name Joe Bowden? She gave video footage to the owners, Matthew and Arnold, at Big Winnie of a full-bodied apparition walking past their Zoom Ring camera. And it's at the end of our episode on there. We even have it on our page under the video section. It looks like a Native American woman holding like a basket or something. Is that what it looks like?
It looks like she's carrying something.
And it's not our footage, but we were allowed to put it at the end of the episode because it tied together right after we investigated. We caught this apparition, and I mean, it really, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that place is special to us for sure.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So, like, what else do you use? I know you said you use a spirit box, right?
Yeah.
So what other pieces of equipment do you guys like to use?
We like EMF meters. I mean, I like the original K2. We tried a new like handheld piece of temperature where it can tell you like the degrees and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, we prefer the K2 more than that. We know like, and people can say a K2 can be faulty because like if you put it in a room with electrical wires, it can sense that and all that. But if you kind of know where you're at and know where the wires and everything are and where you're not going to get a reading, it can be pretty accurate. And we've had good readings with them that is pretty accurate. Because like on the SB7, we have the SB7T where it can give you a temperature reading and it'll go off with an alarm. And we've had a cold reading go off on that at the same time as an EMF reading. So, I mean, it's kind of two different sources of EMF readings at the same time. We're getting the, whites are moving while we're getting the beep, 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 and a blue light. Not to sound weird, but that's what it sounds like. Yeah, no, like, honestly, I mean, we have dowsing rods. We've used them, not much. Yeah, no, we didn't use them the last time. I mean, because when we go places, we have our way of starting investigations, and we'll immediately dive right into an EVP session, our spirit box session. But if we aren't getting anything with EVPs, we'll try to bring that white noise out to bring some way of communication to them, and it usually works, doesn't it? I mean, right when we bring the spirit box out, people are like, oh, can you use something else? It's like, well, if I'm going to use something else, I'm going to go out and get the new Spirit Box Pro that's coming out. So we love it, man. We have people use portal boxes, they use their own thing. We love SB7s, and we've caught so much with it. And we do the Estes method with the Spirit Box, where put on headphones and she'll be top volume. Oh, it's incredible. That's the one at Edinburgh, man. We caught evidence with the Estes method that we're going to be able to show you. No, there's nothing wrong with that because people use the Estes method. I'm not going any further than that. We tried the Estes method and it worked very effectively. We even got like answers from that like the owner was wanting herself. So I mean, it was pretty. That's all I can say with the Estes method at Edinburgh Manor. That tons of investigators have went there and she hasn't gotten the answer, and we may have gotten. That's all I can say. And we got that with the Estes method, which is, long story short, plug headphones into a spirit box and you turn up the frequency, turn up the volume on it, and she'll have a radio sweep going. And I'll ask questions in a different room, other side of the room, doesn't matter. She can't hear me because it's in her head. She's not hearing me. And I'll even say, like on the camera, I'll be like, Lexi. No, she's like, and I asked
taps me and
I asked a question during the testing session that was mind blowing. Like people are gonna be like, yeah, like it's good stuff, man. It's gonna prove validity to what's going on at Edinburgh for sure. And Estes method probably for sure at our best. I think that's probably the best we've got. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Estes method is really cool because like it's literally like the energy that they're using for the spirit box session, because I'm asking the questions and they're responding through the headphones and only she can hear it. So it's like they're communicating with you and you don't even realize what's going on at the time either, because you go into a totally different feeling, I'm sure you do, because you are you.
So right now, when you told me that he tapped you and you kind of jumped, have you guys ever been touched or tapped or anything?
Yes.
You can't talk about it? I mean, you can't talk about it, that's fine. But...
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. See, like I came into Chasing Paranormal a complete skeptic, and she always was like, they're real, like aliens, everything. I didn't believe in aliens until about a couple years back, and she's like, they're real. And when it comes to ghosts, she's proved it to me, and man, I went from skeptic to believer in the 2 years that we've been doing this. We've got some pretty cool stuff coming forward for sure.
Yeah. I've always been a believer, since I was a kid. Yeah. But nothing paranormal in the sense of spirits or ghosts or hauntings happened to me until a good 10 years ago, I would say. And I was living in a house, and I was sitting on the edge of the bed. And by this time, everybody had experienced something in the house. My kids, they all experienced something. I've even felt like somebody sitting on the bed twice. And this was within the first 2 weeks that we were in this house. And both times I thought it was my dog. And then maybe like a month or so later, I was sitting on the edge of the bed, getting ready to go to work. I just woke up and I felt somebody like jab me in the ribs. Have you ever poked her in the ribs or she's poked you in the ribs? That same feeling. It's somebody like legit poked me in the ribs. That was the only time I was taking a shower one time and it felt like somebody was putting their finger down my spine as I was taking a shower. Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, that was. But even like my kids, they were, they've all been poked. My oldest, she got poked in the ribs the same way I did. My youngest was eating at the kitchen table, a bowl of cereal with her earbuds in her ear, and she turned around. She's like, "What?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" She goes, "I felt somebody tap me on the shoulder." Yeah. My son was sitting on the couch, and he called me at work, and he was telling me that he was kind of freaked out because he was watching TV and he saw a figure from the right side of his, out of the corner of his eye, and it was squatting down kind of, and it was reaching out with its finger, and it touched him on his arm. Yeah, that house. It was nothing bad, nothing evil, nothing malicious, but it was just, in my opinion, trying to get our attention. So,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that's all. That's all, right? Just touching us. That's all. Yeah, it was a fun place. Hear footsteps, it was fun. I liked it, man. But and from what I understand, there's still activity in that house to this day.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. But, so like, what do your guys' families think about all this?
Well, his family's always watched all of.
Man, I just turned 30 and I've been watching I literally the first show my dad and I we all would watch together was not first, but that I can remember Ghost Hunters. Like go back to Ghost Hunters Taps, when Grant and Jay were doing the old house investigations and whatnot. And then I would watch what's that one show with Ryan Buell, Paranormal State. Chip Coffee. I wasn't a big fan of any of these shows in particular. I like Ghost Hunters and whatnot, but it was more the idea of ghost hunting, and that's
Exactly.
that was kind of the thing, full spectrum. And then, Ghost Adventures and all that stuff to go forth. I mean, that was a big influence. Yeah, I mean, that's our family has been very supportive.
My family's we've had a lot of my family's had their own experiences, so they're all good with, they're on board. But
Okay.
so we've had. My family has my own. We're from Iowa. I'm from Iowa, so growing up in old, creepy farmhouses and all this, we have our own experiences. But so my family's cool with it.
Yeah, my family, they are supportive, very supportive. Yeah, just growing up watching it, and they love that we're doing it. I mean, it's
Right.
It's one of the places we never thought we would that we've all known about for such a long time. It's really cool.
Yeah, so like like when all the Bigfoot shows started coming out, I wasn't necessarily a fan of the shows, um, but I was a fan of the Bigfoot research and watching the witnesses come on, and so I definitely like that aspect, and I had nothing bad to say about any of the celebrities that were on there, or the people that were on the cast. I just didn't. It was embellished, and there were marching bands and rocking out with music, and I'm like, okay, you ain't gonna catch anything to do with that. You're chasing everything off for miles around, right? But I was a fan of that whole idea, so I like that. Where was I going with that, dude? I was gonna mention something about the shows. Oh, well, forget it. But Lexi, I know when I had Brady on, I asked him what got him into this field. What actually got you into this whole field?
I don't know. I've just always I was a little girl that just I was a witch for every Halloween, and I'm making potions of sticks and leaves and mud and whatever. All I've always been into it. I've had experiences ever since I was a little girl. I've heard my mom tell me her stories, and my grandma tell me her stories, and I've always had a feel for it. So
It's just been a part of your life, really, right?
yeah, always.
It's funny because I was always into the whole witchcraft stuff too, and I remember growing up in my grandpa's property. He had a huge property. It wasn't a farm necessarily, but I mean he had horses and cows and not cows, but chickens and goats. He had like sugar canes, and he grew a big garden and a fig tree. He had a big piece of property. It was fun growing up. But I remember going to the back of his shack, and I had this little coffee can, and I would put stupid little leaves in it or sticks, and thinking I was making a potion or something.
Right.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I still remember that Folgers coffee can. It was I would always look for it when I would get there to go burn something in it or mix stuff up in it. Probably surprised I didn't kill myself. I don't know. I was pouring stuff in there. I probably had no business pouring together. So, are there any places that you guys are looking forward to going back, or that you guys want to go back to?
Go ahead. I'd like to go back to the Boyd House, and that's one place I'd like to go back to. I mean, we felt a big connection to the place, and I feel like we left there with business not finished. It was kind of we only had the day to film there. We went one of the worst snowstorms Minnesota's seen in years, and we drove through it. I mean, we almost literally we got out of an accident up by Brainerd, Minnesota here, and it was a 16-car pileup that happened literally seconds after we got out of this drift that came through to go film. And people behind us got caught up in the accident. We made it to the Boyd House 3 hours through that. It took 7 hours to drive for a 4-hour drive. So we made it there the whole night, and we got just a ton of awesome stuff. So that's one place we really want to go back to, or me, myself. I think Boyd House. I mean, a lot of people have went there. They brought in, the owners even said they brought in haunted artifacts, you know, but it kind of draws me in more to see what's changed since we first went there. You know, because there was, we weren't one of the first people to go to the Boyd House, but I mean, when we went there, there was only more regional teams that were kind of going to the Boyd House than more from what I learned, you know, and there was a few that would go there and kind of like film their experiences, but not what it is right now, you know, and I want to see what's went on since we went there 2 years ago, you know, so we'll see, you know, hopefully we get that opportunity to do it. So.
Is there any places that you guys want to go there, want to go to, regardless if it's a bucket place, you know, a bucket list place or not? Is there some place that
Alcatraz, man.
Where's that?
Alcatraz. Like that's my dream location. The Boyd House is in Boyd, Minnesota. It's you go through Sauk Center out that way, where like the Palmer House and all that is located, and you'll go through Sauk Center, and it's about an hour and a half. I think it's southwest of Sauk Center. So yeah, it's about 4 hours away from where we live. So,
have you guys ever been to the Hinsdale House?
No, we're in northern Minnesota, like 2 hours from the Canadian border. Hinsdale is over probably about 17 hours away from us.
Okay.
Yes, I mean we're quite a ways off from New York and all that kind of stuff, but ways away from.
Yeah, I got invited to go there. I'm going to try to go there. I don't know if I'll be able to, but it's in October, so I'm trying to count my.
Always heard the awesome stuff about that place.
Yeah. And then, of course, the Monroe Theater. I had the guy on, and he invited me to go out there, too. So I want to go to that theater. So it seems like a good place to go to. Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Nice, friendly atmosphere. Yeah. So what advice would you guys give to people who, like, want to get into this field and actually film and make their own documentaries?
Number one, if you're going to, like, try to film if you're trying to film and go anywhere, get permission where you're going first, because like if you're trespassing, you can really screw yourself over. I mean, you know, reach out. It takes a lot of patience. Don't think that just because we're nothing, you know, we are nothing compared to what's out there, and we still behind the scenes to get certain things. It's taken us 6 months to even get a reply email, to get one step further to not even getting the okay to film. And
where we're going to be going here soon.
Yeah, I mean, a location we're going to now has taken us 2 years to work on. And I mean, it's a lot of grinding, a lot of patience. You need to contribute a lot of your money to locations because it's very expensive. A lot of locations cost anywhere from $300 to $500 to go. Us, we are by ourselves. So imagine the cost for that. Get gear from reputable websites, you know, Ghost Stop's fine. There's people out there that can make faulty equipment, you know, through eBay, especially K2 meters. Spirit boxes are another thing that people claim you can rig. I don't know, but definitely just make sure that you get your permission, you know, be safe, always have respect. You know, people say like, what is that called when they'll call out this? Don't intimidate, you know, you know, people teach their own, but the thing is, have respect. Make sure that you're taking care, cleansing yourself, because there is such thing as attachments. We have 1 or 2 places where you can literally feel something changes your emotions when you're in certain places. We have argue when we barely even argue in locations. I mean, before filming it, you need to make sure that you are, before you go in and leave, make sure you're cleansing yourself properly. You know, if it's a prayer, if you have your own ways of doing it, you know, holy water, so be it. Just take care of yourself, because you can bring stuff home, and it sounds corny, but you really can, especially you don't know what you're dealing with. So
Yeah. You know, it's funny you kind of say that. It reminded me of something. So my place that I'm living at, I've been here for like 4 years, right? And my neighbor, we talk when we see each other, but we were at the grocery store just like maybe like a month ago, and so we kind of ran into each other down the aisle. So we just started talking, and uh, one of our neighbors moved out, so we were getting new neighbors, and we were just talking about that. I hope these people are good people. That's all I really want. And he's like, yeah. He goes, we used to all, like party out here in the front. There was four of us, and he goes, we used to always have parties and barbecues. He goes, and the people that live where you're at, he says they were kind of weird, but they were cool. They would always come out and barbecue with us too. I said, what do you mean kind of weird? He's like, maybe I shouldn't tell you. I said, dude, you already told me they're weird. And they used to live in my place. Just to tell me, what's up with them. They used to hold seances in here.
No way.
Yeah. So either they knew what they were doing or they didn't know what they were doing. So so there's nothing here. So I was just glad about that.
That's what I'm talking about. Like going back to what we were saying earlier about going to locations that people investigate every day. People are doing seances, man. Like you have no idea what is in those buildings, and people don't like to talk of demons, but I mean, there is bad juju out there. I mean, there's really bad stuff out there, and you just don't mess with stuff you shouldn't. It's seances.
It's like I say, either they knew what they were doing and they closed it out properly, or they didn't know what they were doing and they didn't get any kind of response at all. So, but you know what? I was fine with it. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I thought it was great. That's right up my alley. I'm gonna start tearing up some. I'm gonna tear up this this carpet and see if there's not a little pentagram circle underneath the carpet there. So you guys, you were talking about when you feel like a connection to a certain place. Is there any place that you didn't get any kind of activity or any kind of connection that you want to go back and maybe give it another shot?
The Hampton Jail? No, which one? LeDuc?
Yeah, I was gonna say LeDuc.
Yeah.
Like there was stuff, but it was quiet. But like, definitely felt something there. That was. I really do want to go back there.
I wish the place we recently filmed, and the thing is, I mean, we're sorting through. We're working on Edinburgh and stuff, and then LeDuc. We filmed hours upon hours upon hours of footage. I mean, we're sorting through night vision cameras still of LeDuc and whatnot, and yeah. So I mean, I don't know. LeDuc is one that we would definitely want to go back, and that's one place.
Yeah. I went to Mineral Wells here in Texas, Mineral Wells, which is the Haunted Hill House.
Yeah.
I went there and I wasn't blown away by anything. There was like very, very little bit of activity. But I want to kind of go back and give it a second shot, because so like the only two things that happened there, and it was an overnight investigation, was a gentleman. He had this little penguin that had like this little fiber optic hairs. So like when you touch the hairs, it would go off and play a little music. That went off a couple of times, and then he had a spirit box, and he was showing me all the bells and whistles on it, and this is like the first time I had seen one up close and personal.
Oh yeah.
And so I wanted to learn about it and show because I thought it was pretty cool. And he said, "Well, I'm gonna go upstairs and I'm gonna do a session upstairs." And I said, "Well, can I go with you?" And a voice came through the box and come up. So I was like, "Okay, cool." But then we did upstairs and nothing happened. So it was like I got teased. It was like I was just teased.
They're awesome. And spirit boxes are.
Yes, but I mean, what are the chances of me asking that question? Do you mind if I come up with you? Come up.
Oh yeah, no, that happened to us at a time at LeDuc too. She has a trigeminal nerve issue, so that's why her eye will get squinty. It's from Crohn's disease. Okay. So it attacks her face. You have trigeminal.
I've got Bell's palsy, so my face acts up from time to time.
Yeah, no. Yeah, it's horribly painful. So that's why she jumped up. Just a moment, she said. Yeah, no, LeDuc, I don't know. We had a moment there that was very similar to what you just told us about.
Yeah, pretty cool.
What, at one spot where, okay, yeah, there was a spot where, like, at the same time it was cold, it said freezing. Oh, I didn't freezing, no, because what was going on? She's coming back.
We had this, you were standing up with the spirit box, and it like all of a sudden just got super, super cold, and you're like, it's so cold in here, and then,
then it goes
freezing.
Yeah.
Like, right after
Yeah, literally at the time where I said that it was cold in the area, it said freezing right through the spirit box. So I mean, it was neat.
It's pretty good. Yeah.
You can check out if you.
And do you guys do any kind of like events or paracons, or do you go to them at all?
I've never been invited to one. Yeah.
Well, why not? Yeah.
Oh man, we've never been invited to one, and I'm just gonna say that straight up. We're really outgoing people. We've never gotten an invite to any event. Just, if we've never been to, there's a lot of locations around here where you can't really do events for ghost hunting.
Right.
There, I mean, not many. I mean, yeah, but I mean, coming to Paracons, there used to be one here in Minnesota that kind of fell through, and nothing's really came through since. And other than that, the surrounding states, we've never gotten the invite to go to one. So just kind of keep doing our thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I get invited. I just, they just want me to go and show up and pay my ticket.
Yeah, like we've got
more like,
we've got invited to ones where like you can pay for like the vendor stuff, but as it comes to like being presenters or anything like that, we've never gotten an invite or anything to Paracons or to host an event or so be it. But maybe down the line, maybe down the road we can do one. But it just depends on if we can find the right spot for it.
Right. Yeah. One thing that I want to do here in, locally here to Houston is hold maybe like a town meeting for myself, try to get, whether it's UFOs, Bigfoot, paranormal people to come in and talk about their experiences,
Oh yeah.
So that's something that I want to do for myself. Yeah. So that's probably something you guys could probably do too,
Definitely.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I don't know. It would be fun to go to something like that. It'd be fun to meet people more than just the internet. You know what I mean? Like, than just chatting like this, like to go to events where you can meet other groups and all that. But I don't know. It's very competitive out there, it feels like, for some reason. It shouldn't be, because everybody's in it for the same reason.
Yeah.
Like we should all be out there trying to support each other, and that's what it should all be about. So hopefully one day we can go to one and cross paths. That'd be great, man.
Yeah, shit, yeah. I would definitely love that. Hey, did you get a chance to look at that video that I had sent you guys?
I must not have got it through the link. No, you have to send it to me. Because I remember you wanted me to look at a clip, but I didn't get the video.
Oh, you didn't get the video? Oh man, I
have to send it over to her.
Looked at it.
Yeah, no, because he asked if I had this when I was at work one day. He asked if I had this. Oh.
Yeah.
Is this?
Stop it when I. Yeah, it's kind of like a very small ratio. It was a lot. Yeah, when you get a chance, because like on the left-hand side of the road.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, no, I wonder if you can get something right to clear that up. It's on the left side. I'll have to get
there you go.
Brighten it up.
You see it?
Not on our end. I'll have to watch the video.
That was sent in by one of my fans. It was taken in East Texas. So yeah, you guys get a chance, look at it. Tell me what you guys think. Yeah.
Okay.
That kind of It was kind of It's a very small clip, but yeah. So tell us a little bit more about Spirit Realm, if you guys don't mind, and where people can find all your stuff, all your video footage and your documentaries.
So Spirit Realm is a 24/7 live streaming service, and they also are big on doing live stream investigations. So you can go on their website, spiritrealm.net, where there's like our haunted destinations. That's where Jim Martin, the owner of the owner of Spirit Realm, he will go with his group of locations and do live stream investigations through the spiritrealm.net. And you can go to their page and check it out on Facebook. It's our haunted destinations. And there's also other types of like psychic mediums that'll do live readings. There's an animal. Yeah, so like you can go to Spirit Realm's Facebook page and they'll post when they have like their live on their news feed when they're going to have the next live psychic medium come on. There's an animal whisperer. There's people that can speak with people on the other side. I mean, it's really cool, compelling stuff. And it was one thing that kind of drew us to Spirit Realm because it's free, and everybody it's just different, because there's psychic mediums on there, and there's all this content of live stream investigations, and then we'll be bringing our docu-series, which is as raw and uncut as it gets. I mean, it's front row seat to Lexi and I going to some of the most haunted locations that people don't really know about, as well as like Edinburgh Manor, which people do know about, but it had to happen. So we went and did it. And I mean, this is all going to be coming to Spirit Realm, hopefully, sometime in Q4 of 2023, we're hoping. And we're working away on the editing. I mean, it's all going to be on the spiritrealm.net. You can go onto their page and hit, I think it shows on their website, and then you can see all the shows that are scheduled, and you're going to see all the shows that the show that the network itself offers. And then we have our own page on there as well, where our episodes will be streamed off of. So, yeah, it's a pretty diverse website. There's a lot of content on there that's coming.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, I didn't know that. But I love watching like psychics and even card readers.
Yeah, there's plenty of psychics on there. There's a lot of different psychic mediums for sure. So, and we're actually, if I believe so, we are the first series that is going to be on the network itself. So, yeah, I mean, and it's as simple as clicking the spiritrealm.net when we release our episodes, and it's going to be right there to watch for free. So nothing's changing besides we're just going to Spirit Realm to, give it a go, and it's going fantastic. I mean, they've treated us very good, and I'm so excited for what's ahead because doors are opening that we never even expected would. So
that's good. Well, you guys deserve it. You really do.
I appreciate that, man. We've been following each other for quite a while, so I really appreciate that from you.
Is there anything else? Well, what about your guys' personal pages or contact information or channels, whatever you guys want to promote, man?
No, just honestly to promote it that we're working on more content than we ever have. It was usually an episode or two a year. We have up to 6 coming out in the next, 6 months to a year. I mean, we're busting our tails right now. We're as real as it gets. We're bringing you the realest evidence out there, I feel, because it's real. I mean, it's Lexi and I going into these locations, and our experiences right on camera. We're capturing stuff I can't believe. And yeah, we're working our hardest to get these episodes out, man. And on our personal pages, that's where you're going to find is we're going to be promoting this because we're proud of it. I mean, it's nothing that's going to be like quality perfect, but it's real. I mean, you're going to see locations you haven't seen, and it's fun. And it's a lot bigger than it was before. So in the sense of where we are going. So
what's the editing process been like for you?
Editing's fine. I mean, it's just the idea of going through all the footage and making sure you don't miss anything for the episode. Because we kind of do our ways of, we have our investigation throughout and all that, but I don't know, the editing it's going to go really smooth, I feel, for these episodes. I feel like we did it right. And there were some errors we made before we signed the Spirit Realm, and I feel like we've really learned along the way. So the editing's going to go smooth. I feel like it really is. I've kind of started off, and it's going great. So there's some awesome stuff coming.
Yeah, I think anytime you start something like that, there's always a learning curve, and you're going to make it.
I'm telling you, like
that's how you learn, right? That's how you learn.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's not like people can go, oh, where's the episode? We're waiting, and it's like, no, like they don't understand the amount of hours it goes to make a 43-minute episode that's fit for TV or whatever. And for each minute, it takes hours sometimes because you're literally for each minute matching audio up from different video. And I mean, it's crazy. And then you need to fit the story in there with images and narration. I mean, it can sometimes take 3 to 4 months for a single episode. And people be like, whoa. But for me, that's only been doing it a few years. I'm learning as I go, and it's getting better. And she's there with me. And I mean, I don't know. We're learning it, man. And I don't know. I feel like we got past those learning curves. So a lot more is going to be coming out.
Yeah. I've got SD cards full of audio, from audio, because when I go Bigfooting, I'll set a recorder out and let it run, all night. And if we're there 2 or 3 days, it'll run those 2 or 3 days, right? I've got records I haven't even listened to. So.
Yeah, man. No, I mean, just to film one episode, we just did it. Literally took us, I think, 8 SD cards we plowed through, and a lot of them are 64 to 128 gigs. And we're filling them up. So, I mean, we have to go through all this footage as quick as we can, but as quick as we can, but at the same time, make sure we're not doing it quick because we need to pay attention to every single speck in the film.
Yeah.
Make sure
you can.
What's that?
So you gotta take your time as fast as you can, right?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, because
You have a
yeah. So if you go to YouTube, it's youtube.com/chasing paranormal MN for Minnesota, and that's chasing paranormal MN. We have our 3 episodes that we first released. It's it's what historic Big Winnie General Store, Boogie and Boyd, and then it's Franklin County Historic Jail, which is locked up. And those are our first 3. So that's not what's going to be like going ahead. Each one, it's like at first it's like ooh, but it's real. So from that to Boyd and locked up, it gets better and better. And what's coming to Spirit Realm is gonna be awesome. So
well, cool beans, guys. We're coming up to the end of the show here. Is there anything else you guys want to add, or anything you want to say to the folks?
oh man, I really appreciate you asking for us to come on though. It was nice to catch up.
Yeah, man. We won't wait 2 years next time. So
Yeah, I know. We've said what we can say. We have a lot of content coming ahead. So I mean, just stay tuned. Head over to our Chase Paranormal page, or else go to Brady Goble Lexi Goble's Facebook page, and you'll see Chase Paranormal there. So I mean, we're constantly promoting, even if it's annoying. I mean, we're proud of what we do. So
yeah, and I know you
we're
guys
gonna keep doing it, and we're just proud of what we do. We bust our tails, and so.
And I know you guys are on my Facebook page. The Beyond the Woodline fan page, man. Promote away, just promote away.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Anything you want me to personally?
To us, we have our Children of the Paranormal page for people like that, and
Okay.
go on there and just promote. That's for anybody out there. Go to the groups and type Children of the Paranormal, and we run it. And do the same. I mean, we give it to people that let us do that. So.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and even if you can't for whatever reason promote it there, man, tag me in it and I'll promote it away.
Absolutely, I appreciate that, man. Thanks so much.
Yeah. Well, cool beans, everybody. Thanks a lot for joining the show tonight. I don't know if I have a show tomorrow night. I usually do it Mondays. I can't remember our schedule anybody, but I can't remember. Yeah, if I'm not on tomorrow, I'll be on the following Monday for sure. So I know I got somebody then. And with all that being said, you guys have a great night. It was a pleasure having you guys on, and we'll definitely keep in touch. And like I said, we won't wait 2 years next time.
Definitely. We'll chat again, man.
Yeah, you guys hang on real quick, please. All right, good night, everybody.